Wow. Welcome back, everybody. Carolina Keith, 786 Assassins, and Crypto After Dark. It's been a couple weeks. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Every time I leave town or I go on vacation, the charts are runneth up. And here we go. Went on vacation, went out of town, and what happened? Charts went up. Love to see it, and I'm glad everyone was here for it to make some money along the way. But since then, interesting developments have happened. Things have changed, and I want to go over it little by little. I want to start by talking about the high time frame. We always want to work at our high time frame and work our way back down. Little by little, I see people starting to kind of break away from the standard, I guess you would say. Not necessarily standard. I don't think that's the right way of saying it. More like kind of breaking away from what we know works. And I want to bring people back down to a respectable area. We can all work together and not miss the big moves. All right? I'll talk about the thumbnail that I put out where I think we're going to do this for 2 years. I'll explain that in a moment so nobody forgets. Let's get into it, shall we? And we shall. If you have not done so, please go hit like, hit the subscribe bell while you're there, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. You know, Google tells me that only about 22% of you guys subscribe. Why? You're watching and hanging out anyway. Why not subscribe? I mean, come on. We don't put out that many videos. It's not like I tag people constantly. So, hey, come hang out, you know. But what's the worst that can happen? You know what I mean? So please go hit like, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to subscribe, all right? So we're going to change the format a little bit, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. First, let's talk about the thumbnail. What I have in front of us is the monthly chart for the last 2 cycles. All right. And forgive me that I sound bad. All right. I got a sinus thing going on. I also had a tooth fixed today. I bit my tongue like 7 times because my tooth was extremely sharp. It broke. I literally just got it fixed. So I'm kind of slurring my words a little bit. I haven't had anything to drink. So it's just, I keep biting my tongue and it just got fixed. So it's annoying. Anyway, what we have in front of us is the last 2 cycles, how things worked out, what happened, what didn't happen. All right. I want to start back with the previous cycle where we had a halving in March of 2016. Now I know each date here at the bottom actually shows a little more than March 16th, right? It actually shows the 1st and the 1st and the 1st. That's because I'm on a monthly chart. These lines are actually drawn on the week. And if I put it on the week, you can actually see I kind of mark the exact week where each of the halvings happen. It doesn't show that on a monthly chart though, okay? All right, so but just look at the last 2 cycles, and we just forget the first cycle ever happened, although it happened. There wasn't very many times we had so many months in a row where it was green. As you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, then a red. All right, and that was right around the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a red. And then we had a retrace. That was right around the bottom. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, red. But now we have even more red following that. We have several green. I'm sorry, even more green following that. And in a row. And I think it's important for everyone to know that we can't always have green. All right. I'm seeing a lot of people say every single time they see a little bit of red in the chart, oh my God, should I sell? Oh my God. Relax. Look at that chart. Does that look like, oh my God, I should sell to you? Yeah, I don't really think so. So remember, we try to sell green and buy red, especially when we're in a bull market or starting a bull market, which is fairly obvious we have done. All right. It's very important for people to understand that. Okay. I'm not trying to sell every time I see a red candle. I keep seeing people do that. Quit freaking out. It's all right. Everything's going to be fine. We have 2 years to go. Why do I say that? Well, we already know how our halving cycles work. During our halving cycles, about halfway in between, we slow down. That's about what's happened here. Slow down. About halfway in between, we slow down. About halfway in between, we slow down. About 3/4 of the way through that cycle, we reverse back up. As you see, 3/4 of the way up, 3/4 of the way up, 3/4 of the way up. Then we hit that halving point where we have a decision to make. Do charts roll over and quit? Do they keep going? Back in 2015, 2016, as you see, they just kind of broke out and kept going. And we had a little bit of a correction here and there, but nothing major. Okay. Back to our last halving when the world shut down because of a certain virus. We had a very, very major correction. And then we immediately took right back off. One could say things set us back when that happened, but I would say, hey man, it's in the charts. Don't worry about it. Barring something miraculous happening, it appears as though we'll have the same cycle again this time. These cycles tend to take about 4 years. If you mark all 4 years from the top and from the bottoms each time, it kind of shows you when we'll start and stop. We know this because we can follow the hash rate of Bitcoin. We can see how fast it speeds up or slows down. It's going very, very well for the last really long time. So if anything, it should speed the cycle up a little bit, not slow it down. That would have us ending off somewhere in the end of 2025, roughly the beginning of 2026-ish. This happens to line up with the federal government's stance on federal income rates, right? We already know that they will lower rates or keep rates flat for the next 2 years. They've already said they would do so. In fact, they even hinted at doing it for 3 years and through 2026. Now, I'm not sure that happens. Realistically speaking, we shouldn't plan on that. We should only plan on a couple months ahead. And, we can see the big picture, of course, but let's be real and plan out that things aren't always in our control. So, barring a miraculous setback, a world-stopping event like we had in 2020, we should see more of the same. Honestly, I think we'll see more of the same. I really do. So, I don't want to panic and I don't want to freak out. I don't want to do anything different. I want to keep on doing what we've been doing, which is cruising right along. Now, there will be down marks. There will be red candles. I implore everyone to please stop looking at Twitter. I have officially quit looking at Twitter, crypto Twitter. I still use it. I look at sports and stuff, but it's not me on there anymore. So, yeah, I don't really care. There's nothing of great value on Twitter to me anymore. It's mostly people who think they're all going to be rich, most of whom are not rich. And they think they're going to be rich because of this particular thing, and that's just not how it works. If it did, everyone would be rich. I don't know why people haven't figured that out yet, but whatever. All the content you guys see will be on here from now on or on Discord. That's it. That's just how it works from now on. Also, the format changes I talked about. This is important. Every single live stream is not going to be, hey, let's request 1,000 charts because, hey, guess what? I've noticed people aren't trying anymore. They're just waiting on me to tell them what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do, folks. I am not a financial advisor, and I am not going to give you financial advice. If you want me to do it for you, just give me all your money, and I'll buy a Ferrari. That's way easier. That's way easier for me. So I think the better thing to do is to learn together, to chart together, to see how this works together. I'm not just going to tell you what to do. That is not how it works. All right? Sounds mean and sounds hateful, but it's not. It's me trying my best to get people to get out of their comfort zone of, I'll just have someone tell me what to do and do it yourself. Okay? Cool. So we've talked a little bit about the macro, but let's go a little bit farther on Bitcoin here, a little bit deeper into the macro, but let me go say hey to everyone first. These will be the OGs on here and the people who are real loyal because I didn't put this on social media that the stream was happening. You either saw it or you ain't, right? So, what's up, Bullish CEO? Good to see you, brother. Facts Wrong, what's up, my guy? XRF, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Reverse Kramer. Tex, what's up, everybody? What's up, brother? Orange Bear. I see you had a bunch on there. I'm not going to do that this stream, but thank you for being here. What's up, Jeremy? Good to see you. Crypto77, what's up, my guy? King of Light, what's up? Jeremy Monroe, good to see you, brother. Brad Williams, what's up, bro? Raging Beagle, what's up, Beagle? Miss Ariana, how are you? Existence, good to see you. Jeremy D, what's up? Anonymity, good to see you, brother. Chris Nanya, could be Nunya, good to see you. Cycling Cotton, Brian W, Colo, what's up? Miss Kelly Slade, how are you? What's up? Lunatic Prophet, Andrew Ionescu, hadn't seen you in a minute. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Distinctive Shine, good to see you, brother. Frumpo, what's up, Steve? Good to see you. Quigs the Vicious, my guy. Jill Sandwich, what's up? Kittens and Pups, Sir Sigma, Trenton Rembert, Fritz. Wow, good to see you guys. So, Vintage Pennies, what's up, my guy? Good name. I like that name. All right, so let's go a little bit deeper on the macro here, shall we? And we shall. I got the monthly chart pulled up. We've already kind of seen that we have halving dates already on the chart. That's not the exact having date. If I go down to the daily, you'll see that I have it on the exact date. I'll get there in a moment. First, let's do the simple stuff like mark some basic support and resistance lines. Shall we? I think that's a good idea. So first, and it's fairly obvious that we have one somewhere around up here. And the way we find support and resistance lines is very simple. You look for places where candles have opened and closed together or flat reversed together. As you see these candles, the bodies of the candles, not the wicks, the bodies of the candles, not the wicks, have opened and closed in the same rough area. All right. If you look for other areas, sometimes they line up. That gives you confluence on an area that may be stronger or weaker support or resistance. The more hits you have on that area, the heavier the resistance or support. How do you know the difference between resistance or support? If the price is above the line that you draw, that's support. If the price is under it, that's resistance. It's not that very difficult at all, is it? Right. So we have a resistance line somewhere up here. I just bit my tongue again saying that. So annoying, dude. I'm over it. All right, so right through here, it looks like we had a bunch of closes here. We had an open and close here. So we could argue that we got a line in here. All right down through here, we had one. It looks like we blew right through that, didn't it? So that doesn't need to be red. That needs to be green. Blew right through that one, huh? Cool. Any more? We have some right here and maybe through here. That's kind of tough. Somewhere right through there. Maybe. Yeah, I guess so, because if you look here, you had some open and closes. Here's some open and closes, and then you had another one over here. Okay, cool. So what do I see right now on the macro support resistance? I see that we have a couple support lines, but we're stuck under a resistance line that looks like it's about at 45,000, roughly 50,000. So 45 to 50,000 seems to be resistance. Cool. Let's go down a little lower to weekly now. All right, if I go down to weekly, it's a little clearer. And I see I got that line drawn a little tight. I could probably move it up there. That looks more around the lines of 45 to 47,000. All right, and this line looks like it was a little bit tight as well. That probably needs to come down here a bit. And I'm just kind of fine-tuning the lines now. This just kind of helps me get it a little bit more close and a little bit more accurate than I already was before. I think that one was pretty much right. So this tells me that I'm stuck in range, I'm under resistance, but I'm over support. So anywhere in this area, cool. What is that area? That area is between 47,000 and 37,000. And really, you could argue that the line should be on down here because, hey, guess what? Price hasn't broken that line yet, has it? Look back through here. It's kind of getting stuck, right? Get the idea? She's stuck under resistance. So until this breaks, she's still resistance. Once it breaks and gets on top and turns it into support, we can take a run at these higher levels. However, I don't think that's going to happen easy. One could almost draw another line in here, right up here at about 50,000, where these candles open and close, right through here, and say that there's another line of resistance. The chart will respect all of this. It will not just blow through all of this. That's not how it works. Things have to take time. I would love to see everything just blow through and go to all-time high. That would be wonderful. I just don't see that happening, all right? Including if all the spot Bitcoin ETFs get approved all at one time. I mean, I think that would get us to 50,000 and it would slow back down a little bit because we have to retrace in here somewhere. I also expect that after this bull run, everything turns into the NASDAQ. Nice and slow and smooth up. Then a little bit of retrace. Then nice and slow and smooth up. And then it never goes away then because all the big money's in it. Remember, it's not going to be fun forever. I've already kind of shown you it's not fun forever because I left Twitter, right? So when it's not fun anymore, don't do it anymore, right? So I'm a little pressed on how far this can go, and I really like to see it break resistance and prove itself. It just hasn't done it yet. It's come close, but it just hasn't got that push. Now, let's draw some fibs in here to see if we have any confluence with Fibonacci lines on our resistance and support lines. All right, I'll start at the top. We'll pull to the bottom down here, drag it over a bit. Honestly, we could probably drag this all the way till 2026, but I don't want to because I want to keep these lines on the screen so you can see them. All right, so I will pull it right over here. We can kind of see it nicely. That's all right. Yes, I'll drag these all the way to 2026 later, but I just want to show you this right now. All right. So it appears that support line down here lines up with the 50 fib at 32,005 to 34,000. That's good support. I don't think we go below that. We also have support up here right around the 618 at 39,000 to 37,000. Not bad. Good support there. I like that. And it looks like we have resistance right at the golden pocket numbers of 68 and 71 fib. That sucks. That's the numbers we were looking at on that resistance line, weren't we? Yep, same ones. And there's a big resistance. Spit my tongue again. Damn it, man. There's a big resistance lines at roughly 50,000 up here. Well, that sucks. So I really, really want to see price action as such. I want to see it at least get to that 50,000 level. And if it wants to fade from there and come back down here and try to take it around at all-time high later, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But we don't have a guarantee of that yet. Okay? Macro view kind of tells the story. So we've got fibs. We see our resistance and support lines. How about we throw in some other indicators? I'm kind of showing you guys how I go through every single chart, right? A lot of people ask me, well, how do you know? How do you know? Here's how I come across my answers. I start with this and I kind of work my way down. After you do these lines for a while, you kind of see them without seeing them. All right. You don't have to draw them anymore. You can kind of say, yeah, I can see resistance right there. And you don't even need to draw it. You automatically see it. But for some people, you need to draw it out, especially when you're learning. And here's a good example of that. All right. So let's add in some other indicators. Let's go with the 821 EMA. All right. So I put that up there. 821 EMA on the weekly crossed way back here in October. You're good to go. Absolutely nothing to do but wait on this to fail. And it hasn't failed, so we keep in it until it fails. And it hasn't done so yet, so we ride the storm out. On a weekly chart, you wouldn't try to sell this until it fell all the way under the 21 EMA, which is way down here at 35,900. That's a long-ass way down. All right, let's do the moving averages here of 50, 100, and 200. Looky there. We appear to have a golden cross coming on the weekly. Not there yet. Getting close. The only question is, with our golden cross that we have right now forming, is this golden cross reaction that we're getting right now enough to say, okay, we had our slowdown while the golden cross was happening? Or are we going to get a bigger pullback, a harder, what we call a tits move, where the golden cross happens and any moving average crossing happens? The price action of the candles tends to move towards it. Are we going to get that? Or have we already got it? It's a tough call. I'm not sure yet, not certain yet. I'm still lying in wait. 2% candles and 1% candles are not mini dumps or mini pumps. We've got to stop with the stupid language. We sound like toddlers. Want to be taken seriously? We'll speak like a professional. All right. So there's our moving averages. How about Ichimoku cloud? Oh man, look at that. That weekly cloud looks amazing. Lag line, base conversion line, cloud, price over the cloud, everything's fine there. What about Bollinger Bands? Inside the Bollinger Bands, not the end of the world, but you would like to see it over top of the Bollinger Bands. So there's a possibility that it slows down and waits on that midline right there, which is all the way down to 34,000. That could take a really long time. Pivot points. There's an interesting story. If you didn't know this, pivot points on the weekly chart shift once per year. They just shifted. Previous pivot line was at 26,741. Current pivot point, 34,596. 496, 35,000, 34,500, 34,500. That was really hard for me to get out. 34,500, 34,500. I don't know why that was so difficult. My nose is running. So if we do not cross R1 and we continue to reject, as we know about pivots, it is highly likely that we reject off and make a run back toward our pivot point. That hurt your feelings? 34,500 is still at play. Okay. Happens to be about around where those moving averages are, weren't it? Not far from it. It's a long way out, though, isn't it? Right. It's a long way out. So I'm not saying that's for certain. I'm saying I would like to see it get over R1 at 45,280. I'd like to see it get over that. Hasn't done so. Prove it to me. Okay? Prove it to me. All right. What about our RSI? Maximize. Boy, look at that thing. Super, super, super overbought. How long can it maintain this? Well, last time this happened, she went super overbought, came back down, and made one more run. Super overbought, came back down. Is this going to make one more run, or are we lying in wait? Well, I'm not certain yet. I'm not sold that this thing can maintain this high of a level for this long. I'd like to hope it could, but there's no guarantee of that. So we may be due for a retrace in here somewhere. People need to understand that that is not the end of the world. There's nothing wrong with selling a little bit. Please understand, you do not have to sell everything when you hit the sell button. You can sell 5%. You can sell 10%. You can sell 70%. You don't have to sell 100% of everything every single time you sell. Okay? Please use some discipline. I know it's not easy. I know it seems like, oh gosh, I got to do it right now. That's not really the case. Okay? You can take it slow. You don't have to freak out. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to make plenty of money. 1 or 2% is not the end of the world. Okay? Cool. Very important for everyone to understand. Now, all that was weekly. I haven't even done the daily yet. Before I do, let me go look over here and see if anybody's got any questions about what I was talking about. What's up, Trenton? Cycling Cotton. What's up, Josh? And Anonymity says, why no 10K subs yet? Because I don't lie, brother. That's why. Because I don't bullshit you. If I bullshitted people, maybe it would work, but I'm sorry. I don't do clickbait and I don't do bullshit. That's what sells. Clickbait and bullshit. Raymond, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Isham. My toddler calls one of her better preschool friends Matato, like potato. His name is Mateo. Thanks for the sober TA. I'm subscribing. So, if not any good if I'm drunk. I trade better when I'm drunk. But okay. 75 people watching, 13 likes. Right, bro? Come on, hit like. New screen cap for the Discord. Welcome aboard. Yeah, Vintage Pennies. That's a dope name, by the way. All right. So, let's see. And I plan on having some drinks after this, but I'm on a lot of medication, so I can't have too much. Just going to be short drinks because I got to get up and do this again tomorrow, and it's going to be a long weekend. So, on a daily chart, we're still well above the 50, the 100, and the 200, and nothing to even think about there. If I pull up the 821 EMA. Similar story. We're just dancing around on top of the 8 EMA right now. Nothing to report there. If I go to the CME chart is Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Same story here. Nothing much to report. No 50 EMA test or anything. All right, we still do have a CME gap right here in this green box that you see. Okay, it's still possible. The price runs down to that range, which is about 39,500-ish. All right, and close the gap. That doesn't mean it will. Just yesterday or the day before, there was a $540 million liquidation event on certain assets. I think Bitcoin was actually $2 billion. There's a $2 billion worth of liquidations just on Bitcoin. That might be off. I may not be right about that, but it was a heavy liquidation day. You're not going to get too many more of those that can be withheld, right? Or that can be held through. And honestly, this thing threw a big red candle, but then come green right back behind it. So what that tells me is that it doesn't want to just buckle. It wants to hold tight and doesn't want to give up. That means you'll stop seeing the flash dump. What does that even mean? What is a flash dump? That'd be the fastest shit on earth, right? Well, I don't know how to do that. So that's why I don't use those type of words. Keep it real. All right, I got to get something to drink. Hold on. I have a pink Stanley cup. Let's go. The throat hurts also. Again, I apologize for the voice and the slurring words. New tooth, bit my tongue just a couple minutes ago. Again, just did it again. That sucks. But we're striving through, okay? We're striving through. What's up, Heath? So, nothing new to report here. I can't run away from any of this. Even if I look on the daily, the cloud is fine on the daily. Like a very slow lagging indicator and strategy is the cloud, and it's still fine. The lag line hasn't hit the candles yet. In fact, it's holding tough. Won't give up. Bollinger Bands have gotten tight again. In fact, look at that. All right, see that? Bollinger Bands are starting to squeeze together a little bit again. I don't hate it. So this lends me to think, little by little, slowly by surely, we're going to see some more price action come in. It may take a bit, right? It may jog sideways and Bart Simpson for a bit, and that might suck and hurt people's feelings because I think everybody's on the edge of their seat just waiting to read some bullshit on Twitter. And I would say you should get on the edge of your feet for like Britney Spears nudes or see that Epstein client list. That would be a good one. But waiting to see an ETF report that you already know is going to happen, like, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're just feeding your own hopium, and I don't think we should do that. That's all I got for Bitcoin. I'm holding strong. I'm almost positive we're going to have 2 years of gradual up. It won't be all at once. It'll definitely be a slowdown somewhere around happening here. I'm not exactly sure where. I still think 50,000 is a solid possibility. The longer we stay up here in this range, the more likely it is. The faster we come back down below this range, the more likely it is we go to around 35,000-ish and have a hiccup. Then we follow back up after that. That makes sense chart-wise in both directions. But for now, it's a holding pattern in an uptrend, which means no freak out necessary. All right, Ethereum CME chart. Interestingly enough, this is sitting over top of the high time frame 50 fib and has yet to fail it. I really thought with this red candle, when it shot down through here, that would ruin it all. All right, I just happened to look at this while I was on vacation. I said, oh, look at that ugly, nasty red candle. That sucks. Would have liked to have seen a better candle than that. Also, these red candles at the top here and these little choppy green candles, that's not very good price action. Honestly, that kind of sucked. I wish we had better price action than that. That sucked. I would have liked to have seen something better. But whatever, nothing I can do about it. So the thing is, it's still hanging out up here on support. Hasn't failed yet. 50 MA did come down and get touched, and it immediately threw a big buy pressure wick on it. Love to see that. Love to see the good buy pressure. Pivots stuck under the pivot right now, but the pivots are also tight together, which tells me that won't maintain very long. Those tight pivots like that mean price action typically is coming in. You saw the Bollinger Bands a second ago, how tight they are, right? Pretty darn tight. Again, we're Bart Simpsoning here a little bit, coming up and flattening out. Does that mean we come back down? If we do, this is the level I think it would come to. Interestingly enough, I drew these fibs months ago. Look at that. Look how accurate that touch was on that candle right there. Just come down and kiss that trend line just so. How far do I have these fibs pulled out to? I'll show you. I got them pulled out to the end of 2025. You see that right there? That's October 25, November 25. That's where the fibs stop. And I want you to look how perfectly that candle came down and kissed that trend line. If that doesn't show you everything you need to know, I don't know what does. It's over the 50. It bounced the trend line. It may not need to go down anymore below what it is right now. Sounds nuts, I understand. But as this stuff happens, the higher time frames are going to continue to play the story. All right? You're going to see weekly, monthly, and this is going to turn into quarterly, 6-month, and 1-year charts, just like the Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P 500, and many others. All right? Only a matter of time for this happens. It's not like I'm trying to predict something. This is just how the system works, okay? It's not me wanting it to work that way. That's just how it works, all right? I wish it was different. We're not in control. I got to get something else to drink. Sorry. He said, okay with the pink cup. What are the odds you give Bitcoin hitting 50K before it goes under 40K? Flash dump sounds like when a guy in a trench coat takes a dookie in the pit in public. That's pretty good. Nate Lambo, what's up, brother? Good to see you. What are the odds of 50K before 40K? I would say 2 to 1. I'd say you got a 66% chance of 50K and a 33% chance of under 40. Under 30. Well, what was the number? Under 40K. No, let's take that back. We're too close to 40K for that. So I would flip it the other way. 2 to 1. 2 to 1 odds would go down under 40 before we go up to 50. We're too close to under 40 already. It's already danced around with 40,000 a couple times over the last couple weeks. So kind of makes me think it wants to go down there one more time. But we don't know. And obviously I haven't freaked out or nothing because I haven't cut the beard. It's still there. I haven't shaved anything. Good to see you, Nate. Let's see. All right. So the next thing, DXY. Before we get into DXY, if you have not done so, please take the time to check us out on wap.com/team786. The $10 special, over, done. From now on, it's 16 only. Right here's the link. One more time, wap.com/team786. If you do a yearly, you can still get it for $10 a month, but you have to pay a full year in advance. No longer do you get a free 30-minute consult. That's already gone. Everyone had their chance to get free stuff. No more discounts. Also, when we get near halving, the $16 price goes away and no new people will be allowed in and the doors will shut. We are going to go over everything in the Discord every single day. We will not do that on YouTube. What we're going to do on YouTube is we're going to focus on a couple things and we're going to go deep on those couple things and tear all the way through them and analyze it deeper and smarter. I want people to do this on their own. I don't want to do it for you. Okay? The only way to learn is to learn on your own, doing it the hard way. We talked about this while I was up in Buffalo. Right? People don't learn by just sitting and looking at you. Now they get inspired because they see how well you're doing and they see how well you can do, but they won't do it without being pushed. All right. So this is me pushing you a little bit, not pushing you to stop, but pushing you to try. All right. Everyone can do this. I'm you. I'm literally you. I'm nobody. If I can do it, anybody can do it. All right. So let's look back at the dollar index. Now I'm on the weekly chart. I'm going to go down to daily because that's where I've been looking at this, but weekly is important too. So look at the very, very odd Look at the very, very odd candle formations that you've got on the DXY, which is the dollar index. If you don't know what the dollar index is, typically, the dollar index goes trending down and crypto trends up. When the dollar index trends up, crypto trends to trend down. Not always, but sometimes, most of the time. Look at this horrible red candle that the DXY threw. Like you literally can't throw a worse candle. That's horrible. Followed by 3 candles up. Like with a humongous gap, by the way. That's nuts. That's not something you typically see on a DXY chart. Like, I don't think I've ever seen it do that before. But the 4-hour actually made a very, very bullish hammer candle, oddly enough. So she continued up. Now, back to the daily, all still under the trend line. Go a little deeper here, pull up some moving averages. You'll see we have an 821 break, but we don't have 821 cross yet. We've got a death cross happening with a 5,200 cross. See that? Price action is following back towards it. So far, this is an accurate tits move. Has 2 choices. It can trend up and break through and come back to this golden cross area, think about it, and then make a move up. Or she can simply up here, hit that, dance around, and come back down some more. We're yet to find out, but we will find out soon, one way or the other. I'm not sure whether I should take an account this wick on this candle or not. Everything else seems to line up, and I hate to be off by one candle. That's why I didn't include it. If I pull up the cloud, as you see, base conversion still not flipped right, lag line still not flipped right, cloud still red, price still under. So nothing to do, much to do about nothing on the daily cloud. If I go to 4-hour, things have flipped bullish. Price over the cloud, base under conversion. That's good. Green candles. Green cloud. Candles over the candles over the cloud, lag line, molybdenum, everything's good on the 4 hour, right? But it's still under the trend line. So does it come back down here to this void? Right? Come back down here to this void and make another run? We're going to find out. I'm to expect it does, because that's a horrible candle. I mean, honestly, that's a terrible candle. Now, we step back out to the weekly. Hey, look at there. DXY is just bouncing around on the bottom of the cloud. She fell out, did nothing but do is come up here and tag the bottom of it and stop. So, does it want to break back into the cloud? And if it does, it's got a chance to hang on to the cloud and come back up. That doesn't mean it will, but there's a good chance. Now, a little bit lower of a close here, and it's back on the cloud, and that sets up another bad week for the dollar next week. I haven't looked up any economic news lately, but on the weekly chart, price under the cloud, conversion under base, lag under candles, cloud red. This is a terrible look for the DXY. This hasn't happened since all the way back here on August 23rd when the cloud turned red. It's been a while. Been almost 8 months, 6 months, 5 months, something like that. A lot of months. It's been a lot of months since that happened. So I'm to believe it gets hiccups and slows here, but it wants to hang on. I don't necessarily think that's a terrible thing. It's going to have to do its own thing here for a little bit. Here's the RSI, generally floating around 40. That's an action line. We know about that. The 40 line and the 50 line tend to be our action lines. As you see, it's kind of bouncing around them. Still under the 50, but below the 40. That's nominal trading. I think it may chop out here for a little bit. I don't think that's the end of the world. All right? Just kind of the way it is. Even the daily RSI is chopping around 50. That's weekly and daily, both doing the same thing. So we got some confluence there. Now, pull a fib on it. So we give it a hidey ho here on the fibs. All right, so we're over the 236, but we're still under the 382. Haven't broken yet. One could argue that this even technically isn't good enough yet because it hasn't actually fallen over that trend line. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, but man, I have a hard time believing that did. I don't know. It's a tough call. It's really, really, really tight, really close. So I'm going to lean no, but it's a solid maybe. I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. My nose is killing me. Gosh. Oh, man. I feel like I'm going to sneeze constantly. This is how annoying sinus issues are, dude. Whatever. And how about at the dentist today, he told me that one of my teeth could be affecting my sinuses because of the way it grew. So that some bitch might get pulled out one day too. And if you know anything about me, you know how much money I've spent on my friggin' teeth, dude. Stupid amounts of money. Stupid amounts of money. Hope y'all doing peachy and catching the game trains of waves and smacking. Yeah. I'm not mad at David. I'm not mad at D Moss, man. I'm mad at all the people who didn't know to take profits. I don't hate the man for I don't hate the man for the hustle. I don't like him, but I don't hate him. When do we shoot for 127 or 161 fib take profit versus 76? Oh, okay, we'll get to that in a second. This is me, your peer, pressuring you. Raging big old stupid dude. Money printer kicked on after that red candle. I know, right? True words. So yeah, I don't hate him. I know a lot of people want to blame him. I don't blame him. I blame everyone for falling for the hype. A lot of people overinvested. A lot of people fell for hype. A lot of people didn't listen to their the chart. Everybody wanted to believe what they were going to believe, and regardless of whether the chart showed you yes or no, you had to believe it. You couldn't help it. You had to go to those Telegram channels and dig deeper and go farther down the hole. You had to argue with everyone who had anything smart to say that you didn't agree with, like that. Not talking about y'all two in particular, but just and then then they went so far as to try to sue them when you signed up for it. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So, I don't do that. So, Martin Sterling, great question. He says, when do you shoot for the upper fib extension levels versus 786? Well, that's trend dependent. All right. So, if it's a daily chart and you've got a chart that's running really, really hot, all right. Let's pull up. How about we do Algorand? All right, this chart ran really, really, really hot. And let's pull a fib right here. on the top of this is good. I picked this one because it looks great. So this is a short-term daily chart, okay? All these green candles in a row. We're smart enough to know that many green candles in a row probably ain't sustainable, yeah? We go look at the chart real quick. Pull up some indicators. We see the RSI went all the way up to 83. Highest the RSI has been since 2021 at the end of the bull market. The highest it's been since the bull market. Should we wait for this thing to go even higher if we want to get some profits? If you're okay with waiting, no. You should leave it alone and let it go. If you think, gosh, I need to increase what I want to do a little bit more, then yes, this is the perfect time to say, hey, I think I'm going to get some percentage here, some profits out, because on a short time frame, this thing's probably going to slow down some. And look what happened. Goes up to 786, chops out, and then falls back down. Now that we've started back down, when is the next step? When do we buy the dip? All right. This is a great recourse in where do we buy versus when do we buy. So I don't care when it happens. I only care where it happens. The time matter is beyond my control. I can't do anything about it. I'm going to find my spot and I'm going to buy. So we've seen that this thing came up to 786, chopped out, and then failed. All right, cool. Now I want to, because I know trend has started to try to fail here. It come up to 786 and it might be failing trend, right? I think, okay, yeah, it's definitely failing trend. I want to pull the fib on this and find out. I'm going to pull my fibs up now that I think this may be starting a downtrend. Even if it's short, it may be starting a downtrend. So I'll grab the bottom here, grab my fib tool, grab the bottom. I'll pull up to the very top, and I'll kind of line this out like it's a failed downtrend, all right, a failed uptrend. Obviously, you could argue that this hasn't failed yet. For the sake of argument, let's say it's failed. Now I'm looking for places where I want to try to buy. Typically, there are three spots that I want to buy the most. I want to buy the 50 fib, the 618 golden pocket area, and the 786 area. However, in bullish times, you may not get that chance. When you may get is a 382 bounce. You may get a 382 bounce where the price just comes to 382 and then bounces right back up. That's the most bullish possible bounce you can get. All right. Occasionally you get 236 bounces, but honestly, if you zoom out, they're not really 236 bounces. It never really is retraced enough for that anyway, so it's probably going to keep going. Do we have any confluence on any of these areas? Right. So if I want to buy this area, and I want to buy this area, and I want to buy this area, are there any confluences that would say those are good spots? This is where our indicators come into play. We're looking for a place to buy. Well, here's the place to buy. If this thing goes to the 50 fib, it's also going to go roughly to the 100 MA. There will be support there. There's a good chance it could bounce. If price fails that, it could go all the way down to the 618 level, where the 200 moving average is. Interesting, isn't it? So there's confluence. If it fails, that those will come down to there. Do I think all those fail and it goes down to 786? Likely not. So I scrub that 786 plan. I don't think that's going to happen. So I go back up to 382 instead, because that's a higher level that likely would get hit. Looks like it already has 50 moving average, 382 bounce. For now, there's nothing I can do here but sit and wait because everything looks okay. If I see this level fail, now I know I want to try to buy 382 level, the 50 level, and perhaps the 618. For sure, I want to take a shot at buying these two. If I buy a little bit in both, then I have bought the dip and I've bought it at the proper time. Also, what would that look like on our RSI? If we were to fall from where we're at now to the 50 fib, that'd be almost 40%. 40% on the RSI would look like what? Well, if it's at 45 and you take 40% of that, that knocks it all the way down to 20 something. So that's going to put us oversold down here somewhere. Guess what we do when stuff's oversold? We buy it. So more confluence that if it came down there, anywhere in these areas, I'm going to look to bite. So Let's give you an example of one I recently talked about in the Discord that I happened to not find. The fiance happened to find it. She was goofing off on Coinbase looking for stuff. Now, I bought $25 worth of this just to see if I could do it, because some people were saying it wouldn't let them do it. So I bought a whole whopping $25 worth. My thought process here was, I'm not going to buy this until it cracks the trend. Look what it's done just today, cracking the trend. All right. I thought this may come back down a little bit more to 786. I didn't really know if it would or not. Why do I say that? Here's why. Because every single moving average is all in the same spot. Like they're literally balled up in a big knot right there in the same spot. Now, if we're on top of this, excellent. This is green candle is exactly what I was wanting to see. Like, right? Prove it to me. And it's doing it. Cool. Give me a good close up here and I'll increase my position more than $25. Right? Again, 25 was, I had $27 in Coinbase. It charged me $2 to do it. So I bought it on Coinbase. I haven't even told anybody I did that yet. It was $2. So whatever. By the way, thank you, Martin, for the $2. For the $2 tip. Hang on, I need to get something to drink. Oh, I sound ridiculous. I can hear myself. You know what I mean? God, I hate that. Let's see. Would you say that wick hitting 382 was it, or do you stick with time to get down there? That's a good question. I don't think that wick was big enough to wipe everything out. No. So because of that, I think there's more coming. But I don't know when, because no crystal balls, right? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the next 2.5 months. Simple as that. Because it ain't, all this ETF crap floating around, it's either going to be a yes or no. And these people are filing, now they're putting up fucking paperwork for securities filings, like one after the other, right? So now they're like, they can't do that until it's legal. They can't do that if it's illegal, and they're doing it. So that tells you they've kind of been told it's done, right? So yeah, they're going to start buying soon. If we see price action chopping in 786, is it more likely to correct? Would a rapid, brutal move going through 786 be what we were looking for? Yes and no. I'm cool with it hanging out in 786, 886, as long as there's support there. If there's a ton of resistance, not much we can do. Sorry, there's an ad coming up. It's going to happen. So if we hit that level of, man, it's going to chop out. I'm not sure. What do I do? There's nothing wrong with taking a little bit off the table, especially if you're already on something else that you wanted to buy anyway. And this was one I was kind of already on, thinking, hey, man, maybe I should get some of this. I thought it may come down a little bit more. I should have kind of just sucked it up. It was already down 74% from the previous high, which is about 786, right? One of them things where I didn't get the perfect. I should have bought more. I only bought $25, but it was a gamble. It wasn't even technically a buy on the chart. It's $27 or whatever I had on Coinbase. Whatever, dude. Pocket change. So I bought Vara today because Coinbase has some learn to earn junk. Right. See, that's how we found out about it, because she's been going through Coinbase because she has her assets, right? She's been going through Coinbase, like seeing the free shit. She was like, oh, look, they're giving away free shit. So she did it. She was like, what is Vara? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me look. And she showed me, and I was like, blah, blah, blah. I read for 5 seconds. I was like, let me look at the chart. I pulled it up and I said, well, I don't know if I'd buy that yet. And then, 11 days later, it came down some more, and now it's back up. So, let's see. Use advanced trading Coinbase to reduce those fees. Right, which is cool. You can use advanced trading, get the fees down lower. You can also pay their little monthly thing, but honestly, man, I don't really use Coinbase that much. So, hey, man, I don't know how to give advice about Coinbase. Like, damn, you know what I mean? They're going to get paid, and then they're going to go down on you. And when the server fails and everything goes down, because every time something big's about to happen, Coinbase fails. In case you guys don't remember the last bull market, that's what's going to happen to Coinbase again this time. And they're supposed to have a Super Bowl ad too, that they've already paid for it. Jeremy Monroe says, this is a really good stream, folks. Good one to review. Well, thank you, Jeremy Monroe. So I'm going to add more to Vara. I don't know what I want to sell. Maybe audio. I was already going to bail on audio because the gains are good, but I think I get better gains elsewhere. See, look, failing to 50. I think it's time. I think it's time. I'll probably sell audio and swap it. I already took some profits on it. I guess I'll take the rest. As you see, I had about 1,800 and it went up more to there and then failed and then rolled back. And then I didn't rebuy. So, okay, well, I took profits at an okay time, not the perfect time. Yeah, I mean, I still got good money in it. So, well over $1,000, probably $1,400 in it. So, I'll probably make that sell. I think this is what's on Coinbase, honestly, if I'm not mistaken. So, that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably swap audio for Vara. I was already going to do it anyway. Like these two closes under the 50, that's enough to give me hesitation. Even though it's got good buy pressure, it's kind of chasing the wick a little bit. I think there's better gains on other things. And I want to stay diversified without overdoing it, one step at a time. Aptos has recently looked pretty good. Here's a situation of it climbing steadily up. That big wick came down and smacked that 50, and then look at those green candles right back behind it, right? Good example of what I mean. That good quick recovery, she ain't done. She's ready to keep running. That's okay. I'm cool with it. One of my bigger positions is Morpheus Network. I bought 500 more yesterday. I sold an asset off and bought some with it. All right. It bounced the trend line so far. It's got a lot of support down here. The 50, the 100, and the 200 are all down here. I'm okay with this taking a little bit to get where it wants to go. It's fine by me. It's okay. I don't mind it thinking about it a little bit. If it wants to go later, that's fine by me too. Not panicking, not freaking out, not hurrying up and worrying about anything. Lessons learned last bull market. You don't have to panic. There's no reason to. You can kind of relax. Not everything needs to be scalped. Not everything needs to be traded over and over and over and over. You can breathe and relax sometimes and just watch it happen. All right. Some of you have been in the Discord to watch here for a little bit and see that I don't constantly trade. And I think you think that you need to do what I do, which is constantly trade. And that's not what I do. So I don't think that's necessary either. A lot of stuff can be solved by just relaxing and watching it play out for a minute. You don't have to freak out. Yeah, I've seen a lot of freaking out recently. I'm also seeing a lot of degenerate stuff. And I'm going to beg people to stop being degenerates. I played the DJ game with about $200 in the last last month, and I lost $200 just like that. All right. So, people like to think that I was shilling a shitter. I didn't make any money on it. So what did I shill? Nothing. I didn't make anything. So whatever. Time for me to blow my nose on TV. Let me tell you guys, that's the longest I've gone without blowing my nose in a day. 45 minutes, man, that's crazy that I went that long without blowing my nose. And we're back, just like that. Didn't even miss a beat. How professional is that shit, though, by the way, right? Let's see. Colleague chain to be released. I don't know what that is. Never heard of it, Dan. Thank you, Danny Deep Pockets. He said, go hit like, man. 84 people on, 72 likes. We were up to 89 people a minute ago. I saw that. That's dope. I appreciate 89 of y'all came on here without me putting anything on Twitter. If you weren't on here earlier, I will not be back on Twitter. That's how it works. I might come back into the year, might come back in 2 years. I don't really know. I don't really care. In my opinion, there's nothing of any value on Twitter unless you want to be a hype boy and a comment person, and fuck both of those things. I don't believe the hype, and I hate trying to get back to every comment, even though I try my best to be not like other influencers. So many people want to shit on you. It's just not worth it. I've never been into Instagram. Bro, I just put dumb shit on Facebook. I don't put crypto shit on Facebook. Nobody pays attention to it. So, I said, double down. Where are you? We all got stabbed by meat and tacos. Stupid dude. I don't know what tacos is, but, all right. One or two more here. I'm not going to review those because I don't review those. Bundles bets. Gosh, that's hard to see because I got so many lines in the chart. But that's okay. Let's zoom in a bit. Still playing around with the 1272 and the 1414 here. Still sitting on support, which is okay. I'd like to see it hang on to the 821 EMA there, but it doesn't appear that it wants to. Get something to drink. Ugh. So it appears it wants to fail the 821. If that's the case, then I would expect the 50-day moving average to be the holding point. And if that's the case, that is perfectly fine with me. Really need it to stay over 20, but it won't. It can't seem to maintain that. I see a lot of people selling large quantities. People don't seem to have figured out yet that you can't sell large quantities of something that's a low market cap. I don't know why. They haven't figured that out yet, but they keep doing it. So that tells you people don't know what they're doing. But as long as this thing is still trending up, which it is, I'm fine with leaving it be. I still think it's got a lot more juice in the tank. It did hit $26. I mean, perfectly. As long as it can maintain these levels and stay up here, stay above the 50, keep trying to go up. RSI is nominal. Even if I look at weekly, RSI did run way up and it started to pull back now. It did go all the way up to 90. It started to pull back some, and that's okay. And this shows you it's kind of needing to find some more buyers, and that's not the end of the world. There's our weekly chart, by the way. You see it had a very, very wild week last week, but it came right back to where it was. So that big candle, by the way, was one person who had the old token using two wallets selling $50,000 worth and taking a nearly 50% loss to do so. Ouch. Now, little did they know they could have sold pieces and made way more money, but that tells you people don't know what they're doing. What tells you they're not watching, which tells you we got a lot of work to do, doesn't it? That's right. What's up, Angel? Good to see you, bro. I am not badass at all. You're badass. As some charts are better than others, like the Mexi chart for Algo is not exactly the same one on Binance. Right. So what I typically do when I have that happen is I go to CoinGecko and look up the all-time high, all-time low. And I just chart it myself. I try to make it work because some charts are whack, bro. Some have crazy wicks. Poloniex is notorious for having crazy wicks. All that kind of crap. So I try to find the most steady chart I can sometimes. That doesn't always work out. I try, though. You know what I mean? So, just like that, that's been an hour. Man, an hour flies by, doesn't it? I know this stream didn't have all the super excitement, but I'm not feeling the greatest. We'll pep it up a little bit more next time. I'll hit the sound effects over here that I've been working on, getting programmed back correctly. What I really look forward to is the Zooms after this for all the people who have subscribed to us. WAP.com/team786. Like I said, doors close soon. No new subs soon. None. So if you're not in, you're not in. When we close the doors, that's it. All right? So get in while you can before they're not going to be able to. And then when you're not able to, well, you're going to miss all the good stuff, dude. Thank you all for watching. I want you to remember a couple things, okay? I want you to make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. That's Jay-Z. Remember, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. I appreciate the hell out of that. I really, really do. That's Biggie. And recent events have made me realize, man, there just needs to be a little bit more love in the world. So remember, if nobody else loves you, Keith loves you, and the assassins love you, all right? You always have a place here, no matter whether we agree or disagree. You always have a place to come hang out here and talk and chop it up and hang out. Talk crypto and shoot the bull with us, okay? Love us or hate us, agree, disagree. We'll always be here, and we'll all be here with open arms. There's only a couple of y'all that I won't talk to, and I'm even willing to talk to y'all too. So, y'all have a good one. I'll see you on Thursday next week. Same time as always. We may adjust the time a little bit later. Not quite yet. Thank y'all. Y'all be good. Sky's the limit. Peace.